Welcome to FranOps, powered by Business Alliance Incorporated. This is the podcast where entrepreneurs and business owners come to explore the world of franchising with clarity and confidence. Hosted by franchise consultant Jared Nassif, we're here to help you discover the right franchise opportunities, avoid common pitfalls, and build a business you're proud of.
Welcome, elite entrepreneurs and empire builders. Welcome to the next episode of FranOps Live. I'm Jared, your host and CEO and founder of FranOps. We are a consultancy that has been helping multiple individuals chase their dream business, their dream franchise, to help them franchise their future. But today we are blessed to be able to be talking with Cabinet IQ. They are in the home services space, and specifically, they're an incredible brand that has kind of professionalized really a space of in how consumers are shopping today, right? How people shop today is they want the professional in a niche space, in a very, this is what they do. They're the best at it. That's who I want to come and do what I need them to do. And so this is what people do. And when they spend money on their homes, on their remodels, they're going to spend it on arguably the most important room of the house, the kitchen. This has been proven time and time again to be one of the cornerstone pieces of a home to help raise the value, as well as just like raise the practical use of the house as well. And so it's where people cook and gather and meet, and so much is done. I know even in my own home, that's where we are most of the time. If I'm not in the office, our family somehow gathering around in the kitchen doing something. And so it's a critical room. And so this company, Cabinet IQ, does, according to Home Advisor, people spend on average somewhere between $13,000 and $38,000 on a kitchen remodel. And so we'll talk about this too. IQ's bringing on a handful of new franchisees. They're an emerging brand in this space. So this is a great opportunity. We'll talk about this, why this is a great opportunity to invest in a luxury brand. Actually, a few of the franchisees, although they're really just getting off the ground, have already received some pretty prestigious awards, whether it's like in their own community or in the home remodeling space as a whole. And so there's a lot of momentum going behind this brand. And so this is a good opportunity for you to dive into a company that's just, they're doing some really incredible stuff in the blue collar work. They're bringing in that white collar money. So this is your opportunity to build your dream business while helping others build their dream homes with luxury transformations in the most critical room of the house, the kitchen. And today we get the honor of bringing in the CEO himself, who previously actually worked with both Intel and Samsung, among some other things. Received his PhD from the University of Florida. And now he founded Cabinet IQ and is continuing to have some really fast and quality growth of this brand. So without further ado, it is my joy and pleasure to welcome in Michael Hartzell. Michael, my friend, welcome to FranOps Live, the greatest Facebook group in the metaverse. Welcome, my friend.
Thanks, Jared. That's a heck of an introduction. Thank you for that. Pleasure to be here.
Well, no, truly, it's my honor to do so. You guys are well deserving of it with everything that you've built already so far. And truly, I can't wait to see over the next year, 2 years, 5 years, 20 years. I mean, the sky's the limit with this company, with what I'm seeing already. So I'm excited to dive into that with you a little bit too. So let's dive into, first of all, your story. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of how you got to where you are today with CEO of Cabinet IQ?
Yeah, thank you for letting me share. So
yeah, for sure.
You said that earlier. I got my PhD from the University of Florida. I studied material science, which is basically the study of chemistry and physics and how those properties of materials interact with the real world.
Okay.
And I specifically studied the nanoscience behind computer chips. So grad school for me was a really amazing time where I got to do a lot of creative research and learn how to learn. Take the current scientific community, understand where it's at, and then perform research and communicate that via conference presentations or writing papers and things like that.
Yeah.
So incredible time in my life. And it all came to an end when I got a job. Being a broke college student can only last so long. So I was really excited to get, quite frankly, one of the best positions out of grad school that I could get, which is at Intel up in Portland, Oregon.
Yeah.
Their R&D headquarters. So I moved from Florida to Portland, Oregon.
Wow.
And began my adult life as a PhD scientist. And the first 6 months were fun. I got to learn a lot of stuff, meet new coworkers, settle into some really cool science. But honestly, I started realizing that the days were the exact same over and over and over. And the meetings were the same and the reports that I had to do were the same. And waking up on a Sunday and not being able to relax because you need to go to work on Monday, I'm
Right.
sure that's a feeling that we can all relate to.
Yeah.
And I'm not the type of person to just sit around and let my life be controlled by someone else. So actually, long story short, I started flipping houses on the side. It was kind of a
Oh,
side hustle
okay.
to be creative and figure out how to buy a property for this much money, put this much into it, and sell it for a profit.
Yep.
So that was really my segue into construction, was just flipping houses for the first time and making a lot of mistakes, like every new real estate investor does.
Yeah.
But I ended up doing really high-end remodels for clients. So not
Okay.
house flipping anymore, but really
Right.
focusing on the process, the consumer process, and the experience. And for a
Makes
couple
sense.
of years, I was just letting these cabinet companies locally kind of run the show.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is I was very good about controlling the projects, the timelines, the budgets. And if you've ever remodeled a house before, you know that cabinets are one of the last items to go in a home.
Sure.
After that, you put countertops on, clean up the home, and give the keys back to the homeowner. And I
Yeah.
really had some really bad experiences with people that were owning these cabinet stores, and I just didn't understand the mistakes.
Yeah.
As a professional company, I was expecting them to not bring the wrong sizes that we signed off on, or the wrong color, or
Like
schedule a
simple
date with
things.
me, but then not pick up their phone for 2 weeks because they're embarrassed to reschedule. Things like that were really frustrating. So in 2016, we're going on almost 10 years now. I locked myself in my office and basically taught myself the industry. Started
Yeah.
designing my own kitchens, purchasing and installing my own kitchens.
Okay.
And that was really the start. That was really the start. And from there, we just really got better and better with a focus on the customer's experience and how to do this industry the right way. So,
And did you do a full kitchen remodel, or at that time in 2016, were you focused on just the kind of the cabinetry and the countertop spaces?
yeah, so I actually had a construction company and I started up a sister company that was the cabinet company.
Yeah.
So I was doing everything all at the same time, but the
Yeah.
materials would come from my sister company that was called Investor Depot at the time. Fun fact. So the original name was Investor Depot, a one-stop shop for house flippers to get good deals on cabinets.
Yeah.
But 2 years into that, I realized that house flippers are literally the worst customers because they don't care about what we care about. They just care about bottom line price. And being the cheapest cabinet company in town is not a fun sandbox to play in.
That's fair. So when was Cabinet IQ officially birthed?
Yeah, so the name actually was formed. So we went from Investor Depot. I rebranded in 2018 to Cabinets
Okay.
Plus.
Okay.
Because I was getting phone calls saying, "Hey, I heard you're a cabinet company, but Investor Depot, are you guys like a bank, or I don't understand?"
Oh, sure. That makes sense.
Phone calls where I said the name that I originally had was kind of garbage and let's rebrand. So I changed it to Cabinets Plus. And when I decided to franchise, our attorney called me with the unfortunate news that we needed to change the name again because Cabinets Plus is registered in, I think, like 20
Oh,
states. And
gotcha.
if you want to do this the right way, you need to think of a new name. So
Mm-hmm.
just after we got settled into our new brand, new logos, new website, shirts,
Yeah.
signage, I had to rebrand again. And I wanted to do it right. And I'm glad we did because Cabinet IQ just reflects who we are. And that's doing cabinets and countertops the right way, the smart way.
Yeah, incredible. So really you started this in 2016 and it's grown and morphed over time. And then we're able to eventually start getting into franchising, which is good news for all of you listening, those of you either now or watching later. And make sure you're dropping your questions too in the chat so I can get those to Michael. But because it shows a runway, it's not just an overnight, hey, we created a new franchise. Who wants to buy it? But there's sweat equity involved into this business on a number of different levels from a number of different people. And then also you mentioned too, like your background largely seems to be heavily involved with technology too. So can you tell us, how does that also impact and influence Cabinet IQ, and how has that affected the business you've built?
Yeah, it's a great question. Technology really is the backbone of our company. So, we actually had to build our own customer relationship management software, a CRM.
Okay.
At one point, we actually had 7 individual pieces of software with 7 unique logins. Everything was disconnected, nothing talked. Everything from managing the schedules to marketing to, proposals and invoices. even as far as 5-star review requests, right? There's programs out there that you can ask customers on a drip campaign for reviews. I
Right.
can go on and on, but we had
Mhm.
7 individual pieces of software that I needed to effectively run this company. And I realized that it was too much. It was too much for our staff. It was too much for our customers. And we went on the market and we actually interviewed every single one of the CRM companies that you could think of. I promise
Yeah.
you, we talked to them. We essentially wrote a white paper of the requirements that we had for our company.
Okay.
And we'd get on these demos or these sales pitches with these account executives. And we would get to a point with them and we'd ask, hey, you saw the white paper. Can you guys do this? And they would say no. And we would just say, I don't want to waste your time. This isn't a good fit. So we went through every single big CRM you could ever think of. And eventually we had to basically build our own end-to-end solution for not only our industry, but our company. So every imagine when you order a pizza from Domino's and you understand where your project's at, meaning your pizza.
Sure.
We've actually built something similar to the kitchen remodeling industry, which for first-time remodelers, which is actually the majority of people, not being in touch with their contractor is probably the most frustrating thing.
Right. You're always wondering, when am I going to get my kitchen back?
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. So not knowing who's coming, what they're doing, and what the next steps are is the common frustration for most homeowners. So we literally built the platform that guides someone through that process from start to finish. And it's all automated. So depending on trigger points of our CRM, they get the information that they need exactly when they need it. So they're not calling us saying, hey, what's happening next? So it alleviates a lot of the stress points that homeowners have during the remodeling process.
Yeah, wow. I love the care and focus you guys place on that customer service. And that's something that I always look so critically into when I'm talking to a brand. And because I want to know, because that's where the business comes from, is in customer retention or customer referrals. And so, like, how are they taking care of their like the customers that they have currently? And are they focus their business around that? Or are they focused around, you got the name, which is cool, you got the brand, which is cool, you're building that out, which is awesome. But if you're not like focused on the quality service provided to the customer, like the business is not going to go very far. And so I love hearing that too. Incredible. Why is now then? Like, I guess if now is probably the second best time, right? If the best time to invest in a Cabinet IQ was a year or two ago, why is now the next best time to do so?
Yeah, great questions. We currently have 32 franchisees. We've gone through several iterations of the onboarding, on the training, on in-field support. Our COO has a black belt, a Lean Six Sigma black belt in process improvement. So just continuous improvements in our blood. And we've done a really fantastic job of listening to our franchisees who have come through. We send out anonymous surveys. They can literally say whatever they want and they know it's anonymous. And we ask exactly, what do you think we should do better for the next class that comes through? And we have, I think, 8 groups through total now, all the way from start to finish. So that's a lot of reps and that's a lot of improvements in becoming a successful franchisee. So I think now is a great time because there's tons of white space left. Markets are starting to fill up or get sold out, but there's still a lot of white space, which is great. And I think we've had enough reps for people to have a great experience from start to finish.
Which is great to hear because we got people from this Facebook group from, and of course, watching on YouTube from all over the world. So a good opportunity for individuals. But what kind of owners then are you looking for?
Yeah, great question. We're actually not looking for people that came from a construction background that are going to come in with bad habits.
Interesting,
and maybe counterintuitive. Our top franchisees right now are the ones that come from buttoned up professional backgrounds. We actually have a lawyer that left law. We have a doctor that left medicine to become a Cabinet IQ franchisee.
Really?
We have a lot of people that were vice president.
Those are some high income full-time jobs too.
They are. Yep. But more than that, they're looking for more of a fun, creative business that they can be their own boss. And we just really meshed well. So
love that.
Who we're looking for are buttoned up professionals that came from those operations or sales backgrounds.
Yeah.
We actually have it on our training wall in Austin. It says this is a relationship business. So people that are able to form relationships. This is different. This isn't a transactional business like, I don't know, a garage door company, for example. Nothing against the industry, but it's not like you look up garage door repair company, set an appointment, they fix a $200 part, and then you pay them and then they leave. It's not transactional. This is very emotionally driven purchases. And the franchisees really need to connect well with people, understand their needs, and genuinely care about solving their problem.
Yeah,
But I'm
because
going to
are
share
you
our
guys
core
involved
values
in?
with you. I can summarize who we're looking for basically with our core
Yeah.
values. So, number
Okay.
one is create a positive impact.
Okay.
Number two is be a lifetime student.
Hmm. I like
Number
that.
three is mind the details. Number four is take accountability for your actions and inactions.
Yeah.
And number five is do what's right. Now it's easy. So those are my personal core
Mm.
values that I founded this
Wow.
company on. And most of our hiring process is us digging into those qualities in a candidate. And the rest of it, the tools in their toolbox and their experience is secondary to that. But
Yeah.
with our corporate staff and our franchisees, I talk about that a lot and want to make sure that resonates with them.
Yeah. Well, that's so good. Yeah, I love those. Always being a lifelong learner. Never feel like you got it all figured out and there's no space for you to grow in. I like that. Minding the details. These small things matter and do them the right way, even when it's hard. And I love those are all incredible. I love that. So I was going to ask earlier too, like the process then that you guys walk a customer through, because it's not just like you mentioned garage doors, right? Which is oftentimes, not only, but oftentimes an emergency situation. My garage door's broke. I got to get it open to get my car to work. Not the case with a space like this, right? I envision you guys are probably pretty heavily involved with the design and the layout as well. So you really got to get to know an individual and understand their aspirations for this.
That's right. Yeah, that's one of the reasons we're different. A lot of cabinet companies just sell products and they
Okay.
free designs and they basically will just throw cabinets on a wall and say, here's your kitchen. Do you want to buy it? And I think that's a really disrespectful way to approach a customer who you don't even know anything about their needs, how long they're going to stay in the home, do they entertain. We do kitchens for people that are like professional chefs, all the way to someone who works and travels full time and they just need cabinets in their kitchen because kitchens have cabinets. Right. So every customer is different. Every investment that they put into their home is going to be a little bit different. So we really take a step back and educate them well before we start giving out price quotes. We don't sell on price. We really talk about the experience and how we're different to work with. And for our ideal persona, that is a perfect match for them as well. So we're not the cheapest company. We don't do free designs like a lot of companies do. We do design retainers. So once we set an initial budget, which we can do within 20 minutes, we can set like an initial base price range for them.
Sure.
The next step is to pay us for a retainer where we start the design process with them.
Yeah. So is that the role then of the owner is managing all those conversations? I envision with who you said you're looking for, you're probably not having owners that are doing the install themselves.
Yeah, that's right. So the owner's job is really to build a business. We want them out forming relationships with contractors, interior designers, home builders, appliance stores, right? You never know if someone goes to see appliance companies first or cabinet stores or contractors. So the bigger the network that they have of friends in the space, the bigger their business is going to become.
Yeah.
But the only employee that they're going to have starting out is actually a designer, a kitchen designer, who also does the sales. They're the ones that do the technical drawings and everything like that.
Okay.
The franchise owner is going to take a 1 week crash course on kitchen design to do one kitchen, just to understand the software, what it takes, some of the nomenclature. We want them to understand the software that's used. But the designer that actually comes in is going to have between 10 to 20 years of experience. These are high-level professional positions who are looking for a new home in the industry. It's not cheap labor. There's not a lot of turnover in this industry. These kitchen designers are really passionate, actually, and they like finding a good home like we provide for them.
Are those hard to find?
Not at all. In fact, the way that we set up our company is really the right way that a lot of kitchen designers agree with. A kitchen designer doesn't want to go design 15 kitchens and then try to sell one. They really like the process of understanding the client's needs and working through a process. So
that customization.
Yes, so that's really what they enjoy doing, and they see that's how we operate. Our showrooms are world class.
Yeah.
Absolutely world class. You mentioned the details. Our showrooms actually smell like the Ritz-Carlton. We copied the scent from the Ritz-Carlton.
Really?
One day, someone's going to walk into the Ritz-Carlton and say it smells like Cabinet IQ in here.
Smells like Cabinet IQ.
And I don't know where it's going to happen or when, but I
Genius.
promise you someplace in the future that's going to happen. And I'm not going to be there to see it, but I know it's going to happen, which is
I love that. That's genius. So good. So then, okay. So what's the cost for, if I was looking at a single territory, what would that be? What would I expect to invest?
Yeah, so the one territory is 59,500 for the
Okay.
franchise fee.
Okay.
The showroom build out and all the things associated with opening the store is about $300,000.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
And
That
before
seems
we get
pretty
into anything else, I
comparable.
want to tell you that part of the negotiations that we had with our vendors, because we actually don't manufacture anything, like our company doesn't manufacture anything. We work with third party suppliers that manufacture and ship the cabinetry.
Yeah.
And a part of our negotiation was getting anywhere between 50% off to 100% off the materials that are needed to build out the showroom. So
Okay.
everything from the flooring, the backsplashes, the cabinets and countertops, we got significantly deep discounts to help keep the item 7 lower for the,
Okay,
for
gotcha.
the franchisees.
When they start, they do need to start with a showroom from the beginning.
It is a brick and mortar concept,
Okay.
but we actually have two paths that the franchisee is on. One is the real estate path to building out the showroom. That's
Okay.
completely separate from the path to profitability. So that was actually a mistake that we had early on, where we had someone build up the showroom and then come to training and then open their store.
Sure.
But we realized that you actually don't need a showroom to do this business. So we've been able to get pretty much all of our franchisees that have signed on to sell even before the showroom is actually open.
Okay. But working to get it open. It's not like, hey, for the first 2 years, you don't need a showroom. You're coming to training, you're working leads, you're starting to close deals, and still working on getting that showroom up and running.
That's right. Yeah, they're done in parallel.
Makes sense. Yeah, I love that. Well, then you said 32 franchisees or 35?
32.
32, which is incredible. I didn't realize it was that many already, and so that's encouraging to hear. Within that, do you have, I know it's such a young company still with 32 and it's growing rapidly, but do you have any like crazy success stories of current franchisees that you could share with us? And I always love hearing those killer stories of people chasing their business dreams and how Cabinet IQ is helping them do that.
Yeah, sure. The first one on the top of my head actually happened this week. Had a franchisee come to training and listen to us, right? They set their marketing up. They did all the training ahead of time.
Okay.
They
Yep.
actually came to Austin with leads.
Oh,
And
really?
they learned how to close one, went home and collected money on Monday. So literally one day after leaving
Wow.
training in Austin, they're collecting money. So that's how the
That's
system is
incredible.
supposed to work, where they come to Austin, they can go home and start closing sales.
And
And
he's able to actually like service them right now.
sorry?
And he's able to service them right away too.
He is. Yep. Everything is
Wow.
already set up. So, and mind you, this is someone that's never
Amazing.
done this industry before. They're brand new. And just by following the system that we have, they can be successful. So
Wow.
that's
Can I
probably
ask
one of
what
my
was
favorite.
his background?
They came from oil and gas, actually. They're oil and gas
Wow.
company owners.
That's amazing, because that's oftentimes a quick runway is 3 to 4 months. But to hear that someone is able to do it the next day, of course, they came with some leads already, but to be able to do that, even as a possibility to start generating revenue, incredible. And that's really what it comes down to. People don't get into business just because to be into business. They get into business to make money, right? So can you tell us a little bit about what your item 19 looks like, or what that has currently looked like for you guys?
Yeah, sure. We have 2 stores in Austin that we based this off of. So I can really only talk about the last year's FDD. We're refiling pretty soon here.
Sure, makes sense.
But our Austin stores, one did 3.1 million, the other did 1.4 million. And
Wow.
the bottom line adjusted profit for the higher revenue store is about 500,000 in adjusted
Wow.
profit.
Okay.
And the secondary location we had that did the 1.4 million, the adjusted profit is about 350,000. And that's
Yeah.
after royalties are taken out and all that's adjusted gross profit.
Yeah, that's great. I love that. And I'm excited to see the new FDD too when that comes out later this year. But as we're kind of nearing the time, I want to be respectful of your time and our guest time as well. But really my last question is for those watching right now who are on the fence, who are kind of still like, yes, there's 100 other home service brands to get into though. And even in cabinetry or the kitchen space, there's a crazy amount of other brands too. So my last question then for you is, why should an elite entrepreneur or empire builder consider Cabinet IQ over some of your competitors?
Yeah, great question. So first of all, this industry that we're in is really fun. What I mean by that is every customer is different. Every project's different. This
Yeah.
isn't a monotonous go wash
Right.
windows or power. I'm not
Yeah.
hating on any other business, but a lot of those businesses can be the
Right.
exact same every single day, running appointments, closing sales, doing the exact same thing.
Yep.
What I like about this industry personally is that every single project is so unique. The customers are unique, the homes are unique, the projects are unique, the design is unique. So that for me, it keeps everything really interesting. The other thing that I want to say is there's some other home service concepts that, in my opinion, do way too much. We're focused on cabinets, and we also do countertops as an add-on, but we focus really on just cabinets, the cabinet industry. And that was on purpose. I actually did this initially, and I sold everything. I did cabinets, countertops, flooring, appliances. And you start becoming a master of none, jack of all trades, master of none.
Right.
Your customers feel that when you're not inch wide, mile deep in the industry.
Right.
So we became specialists, and that means we get to get referrals from other specialists and share a network of customers. So that's really helpful. But specializing, it allows the business to be a lot lighter, right? You're only installing cabinets and countertops. You're not having painters and flooring guys and electricians and all these things. It's a lot of people and it's a lot of stress. It's easy if you're doing one project at a time and keeping the volume really low, which means low income. But our business is extremely scalable because we're focused on one thing. That's really exciting. And I would put our technology and the AI tools that we're either have implemented now or that are coming, I would put them in a class of themselves above all other home service franchise concepts right now.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. That's so good, Michael. And genuinely, I can't appreciate you enough. And for those of you watching right now, those of you watching later, whenever, right now is the time to get some more information because there's still so much that we haven't even really touched on. So if you're interested in wanting to learn more, literally just drop in the comments, I want you to type high IQ, just drop it in the comments below and we'll start a conversation. And just because, again, like he just mentioned, there's so much we haven't talked about yet. AI tools that they are creating and developing and implementing to, if you want to learn about the breakdown between, is it all residential? Is there commercial work in here? Or the support that they provide to you? There's so much that is yet to be learned and untouched yet that we haven't even gotten to anything yet. And so let's type high IQ. We'll begin a conversation and really begin to see, is your territory or territories? If you're an empire builder looking for multi-units, we'll see if they're available. We'll see if you qualify. Just from what we've talked about so far for what they're looking for, as well as financially, we'll see if this might be a good fit for you. Okay. If it is, we'll get you connected. Probably we can do that today, depending on, how fast or slow you want to go, but type high IQ in the comments and we'll get started today. Michael, while we're doing that, man, I just wanted to say one more time, thank you so much for your time, for investing into this exclusive group of elite entrepreneurs and empire builders. I'm excited to send you guys some people who will be your next best franchisee. It's going to be an exciting time.
Thanks for having me on. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, of course. All right. Until then, we'll see you all later. Michael, you have a good one. Friends, we'll see you next time on FranOps Live. Take care.
If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, leave us a review, and share it with anyone who's ready to take that next step in franchise ownership. For more resources and personalized franchise guidance, visit us online at businessallianceinc.com. Let's help you franchise your future. See you next time.